Hi guys, and welcome to Angling For You, and today you join me on the bank in a summer session for over a year, might even be closer to 2, but we've come back to a venue to start that summer, just one of the best venues out there, Torne Fishery. Now I've had a members match here that I did, I think, second, and we had a great session fishing the hangman rig the last time I was here. Today we're going to try a little bit of deck fishing with a hard pellet. Now it seems bizarre because we're in summer, but we're only in about 2.5, 3 foot tops amount of water. Now there's been a little bit of movement from the aerator and a little bit of tow, so I've got slightly heavier flow. We'll go into that a little bit later on, and you can see there's a little bit of scrub on the water. The fish are there, the fish are around. I'm expecting to do pretty well today. So let's just jump straight into it. We'll talk about feeding pattern and all that kind of scenario. So it's a tentative come and fish here, and I think it's a couple of quid for bags of pellets. It is fishery owned pellets. Today we're using an 8mm on the hook, and then we're feeding 6mm. Now the idea is just feeding 6mm by hand is to just feed them slightly behind the float. We're talking 2 and 3, 4 at a time on a regular intervals, and we're trying to work those fish back till we can get them on a top kit. That's the ideal. We're not messing about. The gear's 0.18 down to a size 14 guru hook. We'll, like I said, we'll go through all that gearing close. It's an extra strong guru hook. I have got a shallow rig done up just in case we start seeing them swirl, and then we can obviously have a little change. It's always good if you're fishing a deck rig to do that. There we go, straight away. Look, I mean, that is literally first drop. It's a phenomenal fishery, is this? It really is. And it's not as if we are not with people. We're not as if we're not with people. We've got 2, 3 to my right and 1 to my left, so we are boxed in. So it's not as if that there's no pressure on it. It's just unreal. You guys need to come. And the fish, as you can see, fight properly hard. And it's a mixture of sizes, right from sort of smaller size carp, and I think this one's hooked in tail, smaller size carp up to good size double figure carp. This one's had its shreddies. Oh, it's foul hooked. I don't think it'd be foul hooked. We're fishing, like I say, on the deck. Shouldn't be foul hooked. Originally I thought it might have been tailed, but it's not having that distinctive jag that you get on a tail, but it is certainly going off like maybe it's chin hooked. But we'll hopefully get to see that. Just gently bringing the pole back, keeping it nice and low. Get everything to the side of me. We know where everything is, and that's a big part, and we'll talk about that, about having things to hand. If it runs, just lower the tip into the water. If you need to let the elastic back out through your fingers, let it out. We've got a Drennan elastic on at the moment, so it's only a baby, this one, but they all go in here. And like I say, if it's chinned, it might go a little bit faster. And I'm on a pleasure session today, so I'm not about ragging them in. Don't need to be ragging them in, don't need to be forcing it. I think it's just under the fin. Let's have a look. I'm not convinced it is not foul hook, this one. Let's have a look. It might have just rolled over. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just nicked himself under the fin. Which can happen, you know, the swimming around under your feet, it can happen. But such a good conditioned, lean fish, as you can see, like really lean, mean. Even the small ones go for gold in here. And believe me, they go a lot bigger in here. Let's get this rig sorted out. We'll just keep going for a little bit and see if there's a few down there. It's a positive sign on first drop. and I have gone, like I said, quite heavy. It's an heavy float. I just wanted a bit of stability, meaning I could put a bit more shot on to keep it a little bit more stable, with a little bit of tow, and also if they're knocking it about, I get a little bit more stability on it. Just, you know what I mean, it's a bit more strength, and I can, you know, beast up the line and the hook to complement it. It's got a longer bristle, just makes for all about that stability. And I've also gone for something a little bit unusual, of a straight through rig with no uplink. Now some people are totally against this when fishing on deck, because they can just change an uplink and they can go to the same depth. I agree with that, but maybe I'd be like that if we're in a match. I'm on a pleasure session, I want no weak spots. It's relatively open, I shouldn't, touch wood, get into any trouble, and I've got strength to pull back. Like I said, it's 018 straight through, so you know, you can lean on it with the elastic. It's I think it's, is it Drennan Pull Power, I think it's called, the elastic that we've got, and it's the dark blue or the purple. I think it's dark blue that we've got in this one. So I apologise, don't know exactly what size that is, but you might have to have a little gander on the Tinternet to see what that is. Like I say, we're trying to just feed behind it, and we'll fish around 8 inches in front of it to start off with. The odd one will fly closer to flag. It's flag, I think I'm playing golf, closer to the float. But then what we can do is move into, we can come off a section, we can move into that feed short, and we're in again. And we can move into that feed, and then we can keep doing it until we basically get on top kit. Is what the end goal is, to be on the top kit. I think another small fish, this one, but it's like fishing in general. You usually hit the slightly smaller carp first, and then you come on to the slightly bigger fish, hopefully. And I'm saying today it's not about bullying it. It's only a small fish. I could just pull it in. I don't want to. I don't want to do any damage to the fish. We're not in a match. I don't need to get it in quickly. Nice little midder. Head up, and he's in the net. And this is one thing that I do say to you guys: having a good net, like a good light net, to be able to throw it out a little bit further, it does help. And this is why I say, like, if you're gonna invest money, your net is a really good place to invest money in. Let's get this bad boy to chill out while we get this hook out, lad. And he's not gonna chill out. Ducked right in the corner of the lip. Perfectly hooked. I'm going to leave him be and put him in because he's a giddy pup and I don't want to drop any, but you can see, nice little mirror, round 2.5, 3 pound. A little bit bigger than the last one. Let's keep the train going. And the positive of having no weak points on these rigs is that they're just super solid. And you know, no kinks in it, no abrasions. Always check your rig though. Every time you go in, make sure your shots are where they need to be, your lines is right. Now the way I've got this rig, and we will talk about it closer, is from the hook about 4 inches we've got a little bulk, and the little bulk is to get that straight through all that surface topper and straight down to the bottom, and then we've got some pickup line in the middle. So what that'll do is that weight will straighten that and keep that line tight. So I don't want anything that's going to drag through the middle. I just want this to go straight down on its own, independently of this bulk that I've got at the top, which is what I want to cock the float. So effectively it'll drop in the water, it'll tighten up here, and it'll come down in an archway. That way, if there's fish in the layers, they'll watch that go down in an archway, they can intercept it, and the line is taut, they'll pick that up and they're away. and that's obviously what we're trying to do, is just get that down to the bottom. If we intercept, that line's tight, they'll pick it up, the fish will be on, and we're away. We don't even need to strike if they pick it up halfway down. And then you noticed I'm only putting 3 or 4 pellets in at a time. So as soon as it goes in, I've got 3 or 4 pellets, followed by 3 or 4 pellets. Sometimes it's better to do a couple of individual splashes in 2, 3 or 4s rather than doing throwing a load of 8 in. And then you can give it a couple of seconds. I would give it 15, 20 seconds, and I'm gonna give another 3, and we're in again. It's just absolutely nuts, this venue, I swear to God. It's just absolutely nuts. And again, it's another small fish. I think definitely smaller than the last one, but we're catching regularly, and we're catching, and that's what it's all about. And if you're in a match situation, these bulkers are brilliant. Before you can get down the edge and start catching some big uns or on paste. But the big un, you know, you will catch them on this. They will come. They will come. And that's still a nice fish. You know, still around that 2 to 3 pound. Great weight builders. Might be closer to 4 pound, that one, you know. Just not as much fight in him as that mirror. And again, absolutely perfectly hooked and in absolutely perfect condition. Right in the corner of the lip. I'll try and hold him up, but don't want to risk dropping him. There we go again, look, beautiful condition, absolutely stunning. Let's get him back in. But what I have noticed, guys, is that every single one that we've got, they're taking the pellet out. Now, there's 2 reasons that might happen. One, I've got a medium band with an 8mm, and it is a good size 8mm, so it's not a baby 8mm. So it might be just that the band, I mean, the band is tight on it. It's a Preston medium band, which is absolutely fine. You could go an extra small or a small. You'd be pushing on an extra small, but a small you would definitely get on. And you might lose less pellets, but I mean, I've got a bag of pellets. I'm not fussed by changing it. If anything, it gives you a fresh bait every time. So that's the way I'm looking at it. So again, those 2 throws and bang, we're in again. Oh, foul look of that one. So that, you see, that watched it on the way down. So he either foul looked or he took it, intercepted it on that way down, and he just didn't get it in his mouth enough that we were gonna get a proper hook hold on it. He might just nipped at the pellet, and that's by having that, how that falls. I'm just going to let it settle now for that 20 seconds. If you pile too much bait in, you're going to have a jacuzzi on your hand. You want to keep drip feeding it in consistently to keep them interested, and obviously the aim is for them to take that bigger pellet that's there. And I will say, like, you see there's a couple swirling on top there. Ooh, shabba dabba doo da, he were there. It is a technique to throw. Like, a lot of people are trying to overhand it, or they use a catapult. For these, you'll be a lot better angler and a lot more consistent if you can learn how to throw it underhand. So it's cupping it on your fingers and it's just a little flick underhand like that. Once you get used to that motion, it'll be a lot better. It's definitely something you should try if you can't do it, or something that you've not tried before. Throwing it overhand is such less consistent and more sporadic of where it's going to go. With cupping your fingers, that motion's keeping the pellets tightened together, and you end up getting a more consistent landing. So if you throw it there, look, you see all 3 of those pellets grouped within an inch of each other, and that's what you want. Now, I'm not saying the bites have dried up, because they haven't, they're still there. But what I can start doing soon is starting to edge slightly closer. Oh, I were asleep on that bite, Benny. We were asleep on that bite. That one absolutely to the bottom of the ocean there. We were very, very sleepy on that bite. Because we're feeding that shoreline, the idea is to come past that, another section. Couple of little bites, and if you start to get some little dabber bites like that, they could also be, if you're in a venue that's got a lot of skimmers, could also be skimmers. But usually 9 times out of 10, if you have a lot of carp in the venue like this one, they should, when they're there and they're feeding, bully out those skimmers. There we go. Oh, this one's not happy. This one's not happy at all. He's not happy. He might be a fowler. Might be a fowler, this bad boy. I'm just thinking that top kit and hoping he comes back. Because there's some big ones in here. He's definitely giving it a good go though. But panicking, there's no point in panicking. Just keep steady pressure. Steady pressure. Let him make the run. Sometimes people fight to get another section on. Now, there we go. Here it comes back. There we go. So, in that scenario, like I said to you when we hooked it, I presumed he was foul hooked. He was definitely foul hooked, which is fine. It just means that there's potentially some up in the water. We could get the shallow rig out in a little bit, but in that situation, there's no need to panic. It is scary when you've got 2,000 pounds worth of pole and it's bellowing to your left. Sometimes you do have to make that decision where you put another section on, but sometimes when you chase it out, it makes them go further because you're giving them more. Once you're used to fishing, pole fishing, and you've been doing it a while, you will feel on the pole the tension, and you'll know if you're putting too much on or not enough, and that's where you have to make your decision whether you need another section or not. In that case, I didn't feel like I was in a risk of breaking anything. But if we do have another foul looker like that, I have got a shallow rig behind me, and we may try that. We've kept this opening segment a long, straight piece of video because I wanted you to see like a genuine start to a session with no bait in and no drops made. Of literally the only thing we've done is plumb up, and that's important. I just wanted you to get that perspective because effectively it's how you would start your match, or how you could start your match if you're match fishing. And a lot of people do start top 1 and 2, top 1 and 1, you know, in a match on the deck. It's a popular thing with minimal feed, and try and pick up those early big fish close in, and then there's a lot of venues that you can do that. See, the bites are different. I'm seeing little dipper, small, minimal bites. Those bites to me mean skimmers. So we're going to give it 2 more minutes. I'm not seeing any swirls, so they don't encourage me to go shallow just yet, but what it does encourage me to do is come back a bit. Now, touched one there. Just because you come back a bit doesn't mean that at some point in the day, or in the near, can be within half an hour or less, that you might have to come back out further and chase them back out. Fish are strange, and sometimes you do just have to chase them. So there's a couple of swells there, and here we go. That were a nice bite, that. Lovely bite. Saw the swirl and then the float buried itself. That felt like a proper bite. And it feels like a little bit better of a fish to see. It's hard nowadays, I think, because the elastics are so good in this modern day that sometimes when you do up these fish, they feel smaller sometimes than they actually are, because the elastic's so cushions such the size, or they wake up later. Like I say, the way that went off, I thought that were a bigger fish, but it's the smallest fish we've had. Is this one. Just a little dumpy mirror. We'll get this one in, and what we'll do is we'll have a little look at the rig, and then we'll go and come back a little bit on what we're doing, and maybe come back a section or so. And again, that one's just nipped itself. So we'll put that down, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Put him back. And we'll come in a bit closer with the camera. We'll have a little look at what the rig's looking like. We'll go from there. Right guys, so let's have a little talk about the rig. Now the float you can't get anymore really, but you can get this sort of style diamond float from wherever, but this is a ProGen 0.6 gram. Like I said to you, it's an heavy float. I just want it for that, with that surface tension, and to just keep it stable, and that's why we've gone. It's got a longer bristle as well. It's for me that stability, and that's what the reason. It's not as much the float itself, it's the weight it can carry, along with the thick fiberglass stem on it. You can use metal if that's what you want to do. Tend to be a bit more stable, metal one, but I've not got any on me, and I got in it. They do take an hell of a bit of a weight. Now I've got a number 10 back shot, and again there's no wind today, but with tow, if it starts to tow on it, I could hold it back, and that's what that's for. Now I've got a group of number 8s and number 9s there as the bulk to sit the float, but like I said, majority there's nothing until you get all the way down to the bottom, where there's a group of two number 9s and a number 8, and that's just purely to get that float down, that bait down. Now the hook, like I said, we've got hook and a Preston band. The hook is a Guru Super Waggler eyed barbless size 14. I've tried them before. I do like these darker strong hooks. They're a nice gauge on them, and they are really strong. The Matrix do similar ones as well. Well, everyone does similar ones, and I just get on best well with those. Like I said, we're using fishery pellets, so we got an 8mm pellet on there, so we'll get him on the band. There we go. So he sits lovely just below the hook, just below the bend of the hook, which is perfect for him to suck it in and nip on that hook perfectly. I don't use Dacron connectors anymore. I do a spider knot on top. I loop over my line, and I have a bead slide into it. It's the most direct way of doing it. It's how I fish now. Crow's foot, spider knot, whatever you want to call them. I prefer that method now. That is how I attach everything. It works for me. It might not work for you. So Dacron, if you want, all I would say is especially if you're shallow fishing, use a shorter Dacron, and you know, get one that you know and trust. There's the majority are decent out there. Drennan are probably one of my favourite if I'm going to use a Dacron connector. The top kit is a power kit, an interelastic Daiwa one. It's got the side puller, which nearly everybody has now nowadays, if not a puller bung, which I don't know many poles nowadays that won't have one that's a power kit, certainly. But I would implore you, if you have an old pole, get a puller bung put in there so you can tension up from the bottom. It just makes such a difference to playing the fish, getting them in, control around obstacles, everything. It just makes total sense. Yeah, that's it for the top kit. It's pretty simple. If we go on to some other methods, there might be other videos, so we might just leave it at that for what top kits we're going to use today. The pole, like I said, is my Drennan Match Winner MW5, which is the top of the Match Winner range. And yeah, we're going to get it hopefully a bit more tested than we already have, because it's already going quite well. So we'll just get a bit more feed in, and like we said, we're going to come back a little bit and see if we can pick a few more fish up. We're ready to go with a rig. Let's see if we can finish this video on a high. See if we can have another fish. And hopefully there's a few sat down there now that a little bit of feed's gone in. Notice I'm not lifting and dropping as well that much. Sometimes I'll reposition when I'm fishing the deck, but I tend not to, because I'm inciting. If I lift it too high up, I'm inciting, you know, a potential foul looker. If it's on the deck and I can raise it in a half an inch or so, that might give a little bit of a sort of little there's a bit of bait kind of thing. But I tend not to, like there, just a little adjustment, but hardly at all off the bottom. Enough to maybe entice something to bite, but not hopefully enough to lift and drop it that it could be intercepted and we end up foul looking. But there we go, there's a fish. And that little lift and drop there. It doesn't feel a particularly big fish, I don't think. But like I say, sometimes you never know when you've got this elastic. No, not particularly massive. Certainly reckon we can have one more drop. Just roll this off over the line. Second, there he is, and he's in. Perfectly in that top lip. Let's get him back and we'll have another drop. And like I said, always give your rig a check when you've caught a fish. Make sure everything's sitting as it should be. Like for example, that bead just slid up a little bit, which happens when the elastic stretches. Just putting that back. Back out we go. go. It's a lovely bite, that one. Absolutely spectacular bite, that. It does feel a little bit heavier, this one. It's not going off wild, which sometimes means it's a little bit better fish, but as we've said in this video, you never really know with these modern elastics. And unless it sets off like a jet plane, of course. Yeah, I don't think it's too big. There's not many better sights in fishing than when you see that underwater swirl of a fish that you've got on a rod or on a pole. It is just special. That underwater vortex. I think it's like anything in it. If you know, you know the feeling. If you're a fisher person, you definitely know. If you golf and you hit a pure shot that's flushed, same kind of feeling. Now I thought it was smaller, you know, but now it's not wanting to come up. It's just under the surface. Once its head's up, I think she's done, but my initial thought of its slow departure might have been the accurate one. Come on, lad, show yourself. Does not want to get it set up, that is for sure. And like I said, we're not in a match situation. We don't need to bully it to death. We're only fishing a pleasure session, and I could stick the tip of the pole in the water, strip, lift and net, but I don't really need to, and I've not fished enough to want to. I want to have a little bit of a fight because I haven't had it for a while. Oh, it's a lovely fish. It's like a hardly scaled mirror. Oh yeah, that's a lovely fish. Definitely a better stamp. I mean, he's got a face a mother could love, but all these fish have been in really good condition, but this one has had an unfortunate facial situation. He has a face for radio. But there we go. A lovely fish to finish. Stick him away in the water. Now, it's been fantastic to be back. First session in the summer. And even better to come to a venue like this. Absolutely superb venue. Torne Bank is absolutely amazing. Thank you again to the guys at Torne Bank for letting us come and film. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, just if you're around the Doncaster area, or you can get to around the Doncaster area, just get yourself down and get it fished. It's unbelievable. Tenner to fish, and then your pellets on top, a couple of quid for the quality of fishing that you get here. It's the maintenance of it as well, and it can drive behind your peg. It's perfect. So if you could join us or check us out on Facebook group at Angling For You. It's a great community. You can ask questions, post your own videos, or you can go angling for you, buy and sell your bits. Equally, you can come on Instagram. Now, we've been stolen by somebody in China, and they stole our Instagram. So if you search Angling For You, it'll come up with Angling For You, and you'll see Chinese writing. That's not ours anymore. Ours is Angling_for You official. Yeah, so join us on there if you can. So thanks a lot for, as always, guys, and thanks for letting us waffle on and do a bit of fishing for you. And until the next one, tight lines.